What's up YouTube, Mellow Matt here. As you can see, we are back with hands again and cards, so it is time for the weekly deck profile. As said in the last one, I'm going to be trying to rotate between D overdress and V/premium. So obviously with the last one being a V deck, we are now onto an overdress deck, and with this time we are going with Feltyroza. Now, Feltyroza is a very fun deck on my personal opinion. She's all about multi-attacking with ghost-themed rear guards due to them returning themselves back to deck for her to then call drive check ghosts to the open rear guard circles in the front row, so you can get 5 attacks off at most a turn. All in all, it's a fun deck, but let's go into it. First up is obviously Starter, which is Feltyroza Starter. Simple skill of when it's rode upon, you draw a card if you go second. Next one up is grade 1. We are actually going with it back to the Feltyroza line with this wave, because it's got a lot better support to help support the Ghost Ride line. So obviously Feltyroza grade 1 skill is when this unit is rode upon, you can Soul Blast 1, choose up to one of your ghost units from your drop zone, and you may then add it to your hand. So obviously with having ghost triggers in the deck, this is really nice because you can guard a grade 1 attack to then pick the ghost trigger back up again by discarding a dead grade 3. And you can use it to set up combos on the following turns. And rearguard skill doesn't matter because we do not use her in the main deck. She is a vampire, not a ghost. Next up, the grade 2, we do go for... Nope, I can grab it. Talent of Enjoyment, Feltyroza. Now, Talent of Enjoyment's got the skill of when the shooter is rode upon, you can reveal a ghost normal unit from your hand and put it on the top of your deck. So then choose a ghost unit from your drop zone and then add it back to your hand. So obviously this is really good because it stacks up your top deck for comboing off with grade 3 Feltyroza, while still grabbing again triggers back to the from drop zone to hand or setting up future plays. All in all, really good card. Then finishing up, we do have Rondo of Eventide Moon, Feltyroza. Now, her skill, as I was explaining, was when your drive check reveals a ghost normal unit, you can call that card to an open rearguard circle. If you called it, you can then counterblast 1, and this unit will get drive +1 until end of that battle. This is not a once per turn skill, so obviously if you drive check another ghost off the next drive check, you can counterblast and get an extra drive. You can also go past the 4 drive checks you potentially get because you do have ghosts that tag off the field mid-battle phase, mid-attack, I should say. So it does lead to some really interesting combos in the deck. Now, to get the other not so interesting parts out of the way, we do have the grades, the triggers. So obviously, we've got our overtrigger. Lyrical overtrigger is the usual 100 million draw a card, and then if you drive check it, for the rest of the game, you as yourself get the ability of during your turn, all your rear guards get power plus 10,000. So, generic overtrigger, you've got to run one in the format. Triggers wise, we are running 6 draws, 2 being ghosts, and 4 being the 10k draw triggers. And crits, we are running 5 crits. 1 being ghost trigger, the other one being the insole crit, the other 4 being the insole crits. Now, the reason I run more draws than crits is for the fact of with Feltyroza, you're clearing your front row out, and if you go crit on the drive check whilst your opponent's perfect guarded, you've lost resources out of that. Whereas if you do draw off a perfect guarded Feltyroza, and don't get the front row, you're still drawing the extra cards out to create an extra nice little bit of advantage. And obviously to finish up, we do have the heal triggers, which for this list we have obviously gone for 4 ghost heals, because obviously we can add the ghost heals back with the Feltyroza ride line. So that's the triggers. Grade 1's next. We start off obviously with the 4 staple perfect guards. Obviously got the skill of when you choose place on Guardian Circle, choose one of your units and it can't be hit to end battle. If your hand has 2 or less cards, choose a card from your hand to discard it. So obviously if you've got 1 or less, you don't have to discard. All in all, these are the staple of the format. Next one up is 4 copies of, honestly the best booster in the deck, Joint Grasp Ernesta. Ernesta's got the skill of back row rearguard circle. When your other ghost is placed on rearguard circle during your battle phase, you can stand this card. So obviously this is really good because you obviously can swing in with a ghost that clears it off the front row, then Feltyroza, call in front of it again, she'll then restand. It's a really nice place for using trigger dumps as well, so you can obviously dump them on her or any other power gains. She can swing in, restand, swing in again, so you're keeping that power for multiple swings. Next one up is the new grade 1, another Orbade in the Eternity, Irene, which I run 4 copies of, which is the new double rare from Lyrical Booster 2. So this card's got the skill of, if she boosts a ghost unit on the rear guard, this unit gets power plus 2k, and then at the end of the battle, you return it back to the bottom of the deck. So this is really nice, because obviously this is then becoming a 10k booster, which, for when we've got grade 3 ghost rear guards, makes a nice 23k column. And obviously this helps clear out your front row, because we do have grade 2s and grade 1s, like this can even boost an Ernesta, it'd be an 18k column, and the Ernesta would then go back to deck, because Ernesta not naturally can't return herself back to deck. So it does help create the open rearguard circles a lot more, and opens up the plays. Finishing up, we do run 2 copies of Little Lady Helmina. Now this is really nice because obviously you can place her down, giving 5k to Ernesta due to her skill, because obviously her skill is when this unit is placed on rearguard circle, if you have another ghost on your rearguard circle, choose one of your rearguards, it gets power plus 5k to end turn. So an interesting play you could do here is you've got Ernesta over here, you've got Irene over here, you can then call Helmina over here, Helmina give the 5k here, swing in like this, and then this will turn the Helmina back to bottom of the deck, and this has still got the power. So it does open up a lot more plays in the deck, and the extra 5k can actually make the difference sometimes. Next up we have the grade 2s, and we're starting off with the new one, Cannon of Overlaid Spinning, Dietlind. Now, Dietlin's got the interesting skill of, when this unit is placed on rearguard circle, if grade 3 Feltyroza is on your vanguard circle, you can Soul Blast 1, choose a ghost normal unit not named Dietlind from your drop zone and call it to open rearguard circle. And second skill is end of the battle, this unit attacked, put this unit on the bottom of your deck. So this is really good, because it enables you to resurrect ghosts that you've had to discard for your Eidolon. It enables you to get boosters out that my opponent may have retired. But the interesting part is what it combos with my next card, with Hair Braiding Aspiration Heilwig, is you can use her skill, Soul Blast a Heilwig, call a Heilwig back in the battle phase, Heilwig's skill will then activate to go to Soul, because Heilwig has got the skill of, when this unit is placed on rearguard circle during your battle phase, you can put her into Soul and then draw a card. So the play would be, you got Feltyroza Vanguard, you drive check this, call it to rearguard circle, Counter Blast 1, get an extra drive, her skill, Soul Blast out, Heilwig, target Heilwig, call it to rearguard circle, Heilwig skill, into Soul, you draw a card. So all in all, you've actually used Feltyroza to Counter Blast 1, get an extra drive, call this for free, and you've drawn an extra card, so you're building up the advantage really nicely. But Heilwig's there, literally, as I said earlier with Feltyroza, there's stuff that can clear the front row mid-battle phase. If Feltyroza checks her Heilwig herself, you Counter Blast 1, calls to rearguard circle, and obviously get your drive, then Heilwig, tuck into Soul, draw a card, and you've then got an extra open rearguard circle to call a more useful unit to. Another thing to note is, Dietlind doesn't need to call to an open front row rearguard circle. So obviously if your this then filled up the front row, you can use it to call a booster, or you can use it to call Heilwig to the back row to then tuck into Soul. There is so much more that Dietlind unlocked in the deck that she's a very good card to play around with. Then finishing up, we do run 2 copies of Dedicated Serenade Eleanor. Now Eleanor's got the skill of, when this unit attacks, you can Soul Blast 2, and this unit gets power plus 15,000 until the end of the battle. At the end of the battle, she then returns to the top of the deck. Now this is good because obviously this can actually guarantee a ghost on the top of your deck for your Feltyroza plays, whereas all the other ones are returned to the bottom of the deck. The only reason I'm running 2 of her compared to more is the fact that she costs a Soul Blast of 2, which for this deck is very heavy because you do not generate soul that well outside of Hirewig. So having her as only 2 copies seems to make sense. Next up for grade 3s, we do run 3 more copies of Feltyroza because we want to Persona Ride. I'm not going to explain the card again. Next on up is our final grade 3, which is Caprico of Circulating Star Ingrid. Now Ingrid's got the skill of, when this unit is placed on rearguard circle other from hand, countercharge 1, choose one of your other rearguards in the same column as this unit and then stand it. Second skill is, when this unit attacks, this unit gets power plus 5,000 to the end of that battle, and then end of the battle she returns to the bottom of the deck. So first skill, really nice because it turns Feltyroza's Counterblast 1 for the extra drive check into a free drive check. The other thing it also works off of is if you call it off Diet Lead. Say you've discarded an Ingrid in one of your early ride deck discards, you can then Diet Lead, Soul Blast 1, call this out from drop zone and get a free counter charge off of it as well, while still populating your board that's then going to return to deck. Obviously, the other part that's really nice is obviously she gains the 5k, which if you combine it with Irene, that's a 28k attacker, so forcing 20k shields out. Really nice. Or if you're on Persona Ride turn, it's a 38k attacker, which is forcing out 2 15k shields. It provides really big numbers for the deck, and it's really nice to go off of. But that's going to be it for the explanation. I shall see you back here about 2 seconds for you, once I actually do some example plays. See here, we are now set up for basic plays. We've got couple and drop, couple of damage, and we're about to ride up to grade 3. So obviously we draw for turn, we discard a card, to then ride into, that should have been Soul Blasted, apologies, for grade 3 Feltyroza. So obviously, grade 2 Feltyroza skill activates. We choose normal unit and place it on top of our deck. And you can see from here, we've not got much to work off at the moment, so we actually want to pull back some shield value, because obviously we're going to be putting down quite a bit of our hand. Which we then pull down this here, this here. Actually, no, we wouldn't grab this. We'd actually be grabbing, we want to create empty rearguard circles to play off of. Cool, and cool. Then obviously we'd be activating this to give 5k here. And then battle phase would begin. So it starts off. This is first attack. Then we've got skill of Irene, who gains 2k for the battle. So this is a nice 18k column. Then at the end of the battle, you force this to the bottom deck. We then swing in. Obviously, this is having had the power boost, gets a nice little buff. This is then 23. And then end of the battle. Bottom of deck. And we then swing in with Feltyroza. So drive checks happened. We know our first one, which is Hirewig. So call it to rearguard circle. Counterblast 1. And we get an extra drive check. Then Hirewig skill will activate, putting it into soul. And we draw a crit trigger for this example. This obviously activates as well because we called a ghost normal unit. She stands. We then got our second check. It's another ghost normal unit. So, call to rearguard circle, counterblast 1, get an extra drive check. Then obviously her skill activates. We soul blast out the Hirewig. Then choose ghost normal unit from the drop zone, which at this point, that's our target. Call to rearguard circle. Hirewig activates again, into soul. We draw a card. We then on to third check, which is another ghost normal unit. We call, can't counterblast because we're out of counterblasts. Then Hirewig, then we activate with Ingrid, and then we stand one of our rearguards. This 2k is gone for this moment in time. But we've still got one extra drive check to go through, because obviously, in the fourth check, we got a crit trigger, so we can give all effects to the Vanguard. Or we can give crit to Vanguard and power over here. So power here, and giving crits to our Vanguard. So that's 2 damage there. We're then swinging in with this side again, which is now 18, 28, 33. So we utilise that 5k that we gained from over there. And this goes to bottom deck. And then swinging in here again. Skill of Irene, we're gaining R plus 2k because of her skill. And then Ingrid, because of her skill, gains power plus 5. So 13, 18, 28. So getting 5 really nice pushes in, all forcing 10k plus guard. And that was only a basic grade 3 turn. It could have been higher, obviously, if we'd have been turn 4 and this had been Persona Ride. That would have been an extra 10k to all the attacks. All in all, Feltyroza is a very fun combo-based deck that can provide a lot of early game aggro due to the turn 3, turn 4 plays that the deck provides. But that is going to be it for this video. If you haven't done so already, please do like, comment, subscribe. It very much does help the channel. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye bye!